You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine Combat Veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
How's it going, guys? There hasn't been a show in a while, and that's for a few reasons. We had some guest cancellations, holidays, illnesses, etc. But we're back, and just in time for Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, and I'm ill. I mean, I'm slightly ill, and I made it here, and I'm breathing all over your microphone, and I'm funky deaf ill too.
Regular listeners will know that voice. New listeners, my guest this week is comedian, author, actor, and Facebook user.
Yep.
Mike Canistero.
Yeah, nice to be here. And those people are like, oh, not the nasally guy again. You know, the people who recognize, not the nasal guy. Oh, geez, an hour of this.
No, I actually got a message the other day about an episode that we did, and they really liked it. It was, I probably should have followed up and asked which one, but it was one of the Pandy episodes. They said they were cracking up.
Really?
And I think you've done that 2 or 3 times on the show now, so I should have asked. I just said thank you. And
well, my head feels like I'm in Pandy Kaufman right now. It feels like it's echoing around in there. You know, like, oh, I can hear the, oh, I just blew my cover, didn't I?
Well, one thing we kind of talked about this before the show was I haven't been using Facebook in a while.
You're not missing anything.
And I never realized, well, because I've never been off Facebook since I got on it. Most people, they check it pretty much every day, if not multiple times. Yeah. And I got on a couple of times to message Kenny Bolin, and hopefully he'll be on soon. He's recovering. Yep. Just got out of the hospital not too long ago. So if you're listening to this, get well soon. But I would get on there, I'd message him and a couple other people. And I started getting weird notifications from Facebook. Turned into a jealous ex-girlfriend where I would get notifications. Hey, your cousin just posted a picture. And then it would say, hey, do you know Joanne Rutherford?
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, it pulls at your heartstrings kind of. And then, you know, you got to watch what you click on because, like, you know, it makes it look like someone's. I don't really friend request anybody generally, you know, so I unless I really, you know, meet someone in person, I'm like, geez, we should be on Facebook together or whatever. But, you know, I accept a lot of them, but then they make it look like someone's friend requesting you just because they appear in that little corner. Is that what you're referring to?
No, it came up as an actual notification, like if someone comments on a post.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Which is the first time I've ever had that. So I think Facebook is just trying to figure out, how can we get this guy back? Can we tell him his cousin posted a picture? Will he come back on to look at the picture?
I get it.
Maybe he doesn't have enough friends. Maybe if we start suggesting people and sending a push notification to let him know, maybe he might know this girl.
You know, the desperation. Yeah, it does
was pathetic.
The desperation is kind of getting there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and now what you've got is you've got a video of your Facebook-versary.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I look at mine, and there's like one from like 8 years ago. I've been on the thing 8 years. That was back before the like button. You couldn't even like on anything. It was just, that's
you
what it
had
is.
to have a college email address to be on Facebook back in the day. You remember that? That's when I got on.
Yeah, you know,
I got on because I got sick of MySpace, and I thought the only people who can be on Facebook is people who are in college.
Yeah.
So I'll get on this. There'll be fewer people to annoy me, and I can talk to other people who are in the same area of life that I'm in.
Yeah.
And then it just morphed into MySpace.
MySpace was pretty good for music. I got to say, it was really good for music if you wanted to hear some music from like, and then you'd have music on your page.
Yeah.
So when people would visit it, unless they had the sound turned off, that would be obnoxious. Now, you know, you'd be like your theme song could be on there if you were still on MySpace. It'd be the it'd be the not we don't have cookies podcast. So you could have that. You know, that's the only thing I miss about MySpace, though. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was good for blogging too.
Oh, one of the other weird notifications that they just decided to send to me just to try to get me to log into Facebook again was one of my friends left a review for a local shop that I've never liked the page of or visited. Why? They're just like, hey, Celeste really left a review about, teacups and berries over here. If you want to go check out the store and see what she wrote. Why the fuck are you sending me this? It was really pathetic.
It's getting there. There's a crest to everything, okay? And I do a little bit of following the markets and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so Facebook was like the hottest stock to own and no one could say anything wrong about it. They were making so much more revenue. But what they don't see is like, I think they're looking at numbers and they're saying like, wow, they're really generating some ad revenue. But then on the user end, people are like, this fucking ad's pissing me off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then people are like, with this election, I think, with the uncertainty of the election, have just dropped off. They're like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. I think it's been...
If we can't even find out who won on Facebook,
I know. Well, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I see people dropping off of it. Then, what's a strange thing is someone will unfriend me. And, I like to make my Facebook just not anything serious, So I'll just put something out there and not explain it. It'll be very vague, whatever I say. Then... I don't try not to do anything that's all that offensive, but just because I don't like pissing people off, So then I'll get unfriended and I'll discover that because I'll get refriended. And then I'm like, this person has some explaining to do, I think. Like, why are you friend requesting me? We were already friends. And you go look, oh, no, we're not friends anymore. But now we're refriending. What? Who unfriended? Why'd you unfriend? Well, I don't know. Okay, so there was this... this woman I went to high school with who lived in Indianapolis, and for some reason we started talking. Then I noticed she unfriended me. And you ever wonder, maybe like the jealous spouse gets into the phone and just says, hey, all these dudes have got to go, and then they don't even know about it. Maybe that's what happens in some cases, but it's very strange. Like my hometown, like I went to, they're not listening to this because I'll put it to my Facebook page and they unfriended me, but like half my Sunday school class unfriended me.
Really?
I don't get it. I was just like 8. So I was talking, it was kind of neat. I was reconnecting with these people I knew when I was like, middle school, high school, earlier elementary age. I know they weren't part of my high school people because I went to another church that was like outside of it. But then like half of those people unfriended me, including people who were like siblings with people who didn't unfriend me. So when I go say happy birthday to the sibling, I'll be like, happy birthday, thanks for not unfriending me, just with a little hope that someone would see it.
Yeah.
But I don't care, so it just seems, isn't there enough ways to just kind of block out what people say that you don't need to do this really like, I'm cleaning up my friends list, and then you post about it?
Yeah,
I'm going to clean out my friends list, and if you see this in 5 minutes, you made the cut. Ooh, I'm so thankful. Jeez, I mean, I got to have a drink. I can't stand this tension. I'm sorry, I got to say one more thing, and then I'll let you, I swear. How the Facebook lawyer, like, I do declare that Facebook can't use my photographs because it's legally binding that put this into this box. I cut and pasted this where it says, what's on your mind? And it tacitly implies. I'm like, oh, I know you didn't write tacitly implies. Like you just highlighted that, hit Control-C and Control-V. Don't give me that shit. You think Zuckerberg's up there? Like, wonder what? Well, we need some more pictures of people with, I don't know why I made Zuckerberg because I sound like hillbilly. He's probably like, he's sophisticated. We need more pictures of people with their toes hanging out by a pool. Here's Becky's got this. Oh, shit. She just copyrighted her pictures.
I kind of like the thought of Zuckerberg being more like a Jed Clampett who just came into a shitload of oil money.
He just that's what happened. He didn't invent it. It just is like, well, these guys...
He just Microsofted it, where he just bought all this stuff and it just came together.
Yeah, I know. And it just morphed into, just gained its own intelligence like HAL on 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then it just became smart. Now it's sending you notifications.
Zuckerberg's on Facebook Live blowing into jugs and slapping his knee.
It does kind of sound like a hillbilly name. My name's Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg. We live right down the road where the Bologna Fest is going on.
We need to make a video.
Hey, Zuckerberg. This like, and then he just got a double. You know, it's not even him. It's just really some other guy. It's just a face front.
And he doesn't care about us like Tom from MySpace did.
Tom from MySpace.
He was everybody's friend.
You couldn't unfriend him, right? I think
I don't know.
I don't think you could. He was on your list as he was like, you know, he was in your top 8. That was obnoxious about MySpace.
That was,
because you know what happens.
You had
one
to
time, rank
your friends.
I think I did. I know, and I had someone got pissed off at me once, and I just saw myself drop, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm below Guinness now. I'm like, oh boy, and just went below Guinness.
And then they had just different levels where you could have your top 20. Or your top 40.
Changed it. It was top 8, and then you could change it to like, and then I think you could even have it random or something.
Yeah, because I think I ended up doing that because people. All you could really do was just put your family and your wife. If you were married, obviously your wife had to be number 1, and you just sort of selected all these people that everyone knew had to be there, and just try to keep as many people out of that as you could, so people wouldn't get jealous about it.
I know it really is changing how, like, if you go through a breakup now, you can like go and feast on every single bad thing you ever want to watch.
Yeah.
So you'll see, like, you'll be like, oh, man, Becky broke up with me. And then you're, like, really in the sinking depths of your depression. And then you can go see that, like, some dude and her are getting a photo shoot together and they got engaged or some shit. It's tough, I think.
That's what happened to me yesterday. I got on Facebook. I'm scrolling through. It's the first time I've been on in a long time. And I saw one of my friends say something about how beautiful his girlfriend was, and he tagged her in it, and it was not the girl that he was with when I was on last.
Yeah.
And the thing that shocked me the most was the ex-girlfriend, they were engaged and had a child.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me like, man, families are breaking up, and I don't even know.
No,
and
man,
it was
tough.
easy though, because I could just scroll through the timeline and watch everything just devolve before my eyes, where they're posting shit about each other and how they don't like each other. And now I can watch him meet this new girl, all in the timeline. You can get caught up really easy, and you don't even have to talk to the person.
Actually, to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of that happen, and just recently, I won't use the real words, real names, but I literally saw like Bob post that like, hey, me and Francine, I'm making these are the most strangest names. So Bob's like, I just left Francine, I had to do it, da-da-da. And then, like, Francine's like, Bob, Francine's like, Bob just left me. So it was, like, literally within minutes of each other. And I was like, oh, this is tough to watch. And I'm not even really emotionally, I like them both, but I really don't, I'm not even emotionally invested in either side or anything, which is not a good idea. But, so, yeah, it's tough now to watch all this, even if you don't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
Don't have a dog in a fight.
One of the best things that I saw when I got on yesterday was a meme of a guy on the toilet taking a shit with virtual reality glasses on. It said, today I poop atop the Appalachian Mountains. So
memes are great.
From now on, I have a pair of virtual reality glasses.
Yeah. What's that like? I mean,
I'll be honest. I said, gosh, I don't even remember what episode it was. I know it was on The Life. I mentioned these glasses and that I was gonna put them on and I was gonna do a little review, and that never happened. I think it's been a year. I still haven't put them on.
Really?
So next week, hopefully, I will give everybody an update on what this is like. And for the rest of my life, I am going to shit in a field of flowers. It's going to be amazing.
You should ask if you could wear them at the dentist. And you can be like, whoa, you are so beautiful.
Now I know what those Jews felt like.
Yeah, set it to like some sort of Schindler's List type setting. You know, you got it like freaking Auschwitz.
It's just Hitler cleaning my teeth.
I'd set it for a strip joint personally. You know, you can't.
Be funny.
It'd be something like, you know, and just get all confused. You put $1 somewhere with it.
I heard they have virtual reality porn. So I guess I'll find out this week.
All right, I'm behind. I've never put those things on. Now I have problems where like my eyes bother me. Like sometimes if I have too much input. Like my brother and my mother have this. You know, sometimes they'll be like walking down a grocery store aisle and it overloads they have just sensory overload. So I'm scared shitless of those things there. I'd probably have to lay down so I knew I couldn't fall down passing out. They look pretty sophisticated there.
Yeah,
and you went for the white. That's good. You look like a stormtrooper.
It's still got all the plastic, you know, where you can peel the plastic off of things.
You have a fear of commitment with those things, I could tell. You haven't peeled anything off.
Never been used.
Now, how do you load stuff into that? Does it got to connect to the internet or something? Or is it preloaded?
If I think right, you put your phone inside here.
Okay.
And then it kind of clamps down.
Okay, I got it, yeah.
I believe that's right. So.
Wow.
Looking forward to that. That'll be fun. And I'll be honest, I forgot I even had those till I saw that meme.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So you're
score one for Facebook.
Just do it while you're shitting. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Field of flowers every day.
Wiping yourself might be tough. You know, it might be like, whoa, I'm not done yet. Just too much wiping. I just use the whole. That's probably pretty nasty. I don't know.
Well, I was watching Judge Judy. There was a girl on there trying to explain what a meme was to Judge Judy. Now, that in and of itself is pretty funny.
Because Judge Judy's probably been memed.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But the best part to me, and being somebody who watches Judge Judy quite a bit, you always hear Judge Judy talk about how she has 10 million viewers. When the girl starts to explain what a meme is, she calls it a meme.
Mimi.
Which cracked me up because now 10 million people know you don't know how to pronounce meme.
Yeah.
And you've never met anybody who's pronounced it in front of you.
Yeah,
or you would know better.
You just read it.
Yeah.
You just read that word. You know, like my teenage kid, you know, like she'll say, my assignment is to decipher the meaning. And I'm like, no, it's decipher. Well, it looks like decipher. Yeah, it does look like decipher. But Mimi, that's awesome.
Yeah, that cracked me up.
Yeah, Judge Judy is just, those are the kind of shows you just watch to make yourself feel good about yourself.
You just watch somebody else get yelled at for a while. It's kind of cathartic.
Yeah, it's like watching Cops. You know, it's like, well, my life ain't shit like that.
Yeah, you just kind of get drawn into it. It's sort of quick and simple.
Yeah.
But this is the first show, 2017. We're not too far removed from the holidays. And since it's the only show that we've had since the holidays, did you get any unwanted Christmas gifts or anything?
Not really. You know, usually my dad's good for one of those, but he's kind of, you know, there'd be like the dollar store round of gifts.
Yeah.
And like the stuff he gets at a grab bag sale. It's like you just go, here's what my dad would normally do, but he's toned it down a little bit because I'm like, Dad, I don't need used bicycle shorts, you know, or a breast milk pump. You know, I know I could pick up tennis balls with it, but I'd rather just pick up a tennis ball than use a breast pump. It's got cottage cheese in it. No, okay. So, but he would go to a bag sale. It's usually in a church or something, you know, like, and they have rummage kind of sale. But then there's like the lightning hour. In the last hour, you just go fill a whole bag. And it's not a garage sale anymore. It's just fill a bag. So he'll go scout it out and then go somewhere else and come back for the lightning round where he just hopes everything is there. So luckily, he's kind of toned down that sort of thing.
That's good.
I have a gas mask, for example. Like, why do I need a gas mask? I don't. It's a legit military gas mask.
Have you made a character out of it?
No, you can't breathe in it.
Oh.
I was thinking hazmat guy could actually rap in it, but you can't hear anything. It's just, it's got the canisters there.
Huh.
So, no, but this year, pretty good. Yourself, did you get anything you didn't want?
I was scared I was going to. I was home one day and a package arrived, and it said Amazon Echo on it. And have you seen the commercials for those?
Yeah.
Okay. If you got one, that's great. Kenny Bolin has one. He loves it. Me personally, I couldn't figure out what I would use it for.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it, I was scared to death she got me that.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't realize anything you order from Amazon, they use that tape all over the boxes.
I saw that. Yeah, because I got something from Amazon, and it did have that tape on there.
Now that I didn't get one, and I've read a story about it, I'm even more relieved because there was some little girl who ordered a dollhouse and candy using the Amazon Echo.
Yeah.
And it didn't recognize that this is just a small child. It just heard a voice saying, order me a dollhouse and get me some candy. And one was delivered to her.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Well, the best part is they were doing a news story about this girl in her hometown. When they did the news story, they played what the girl said on the news story. Every person that had one of the Echoes or one of the Echo Dots heard the voice on the TV and ordered a dollhouse and candy. That's some Echo Inception or something. I was pretty happy I didn't get one. Like I said, if you have one, that's great. I mean, if you have something to use it for, I just couldn't figure out where that would fit in my life right now. Well, we're going to go to break real quick, and I'm going to play a song about 2016 by comedian and Tonight Show writer and former guest Murray Valeriano, and we'll be back.
2016 was one for the books with the heated election and the lives it took. I'd wake up in the morning to another death while another celebrity is taking their final breath. Here's a list of some of those people who died. Listen close, you'll be surprised. Those are people who died, died. 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 It was 2016 and they died. Tom Ford and Nancy Reagan should have just said no. We lost the Big Lebowski and the Fino. Goodbye, character actor George Gaines. Punky Brewster's dad was his claim to fame. Lou Pearlman put all those boy bands on the map. They'd have forced me with Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. Those are people who died, died. 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 It was 2016 and they died. I love the music that Leon Russell made. Arnold Palmer's half iced tea, half lemonade. Florence Henderson, Alan Thicke were TV's mom and dad. Patty Duke was her own cousin, the only one she had. Lost Carrie Fisher, then the next day is her mother. Ron Lester played 69 up top, my brother. Those are people who died, died. 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 It was 2016 and they died. Time was up for 60 Minutes, anchor Morley Safer. Who's gonna report on the Florida kid eaten by a gator? Gary Marshall's Happy Days with Vernon Shirley. Even at 81, he died too early. Guess Miss Cleo didn't hear the phone ring. Pick it up, who's calling 2016? Those are people who died, died. 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 It was 2016, and they died. Paul Cantor flew the airplane too close to the sun. Keith Emerson left DLP with just one. I wish George Michael, man, I wish you're still alive. And all you need is love, Beatle number 5. George Martin, you're the biggest loss to me. I know you're looking down saying let it be. Those are people who died, died. 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 It was 2016 and they died. Sharon Jones, Ron Glass, and John Glenn. There are so many gone, I don't know if I can fit them in. Abe Vigoda, Anton Scalia, Dave Mirren, David Guest. Man, I'll do my best to try to fit in the rest. There was Doris Roberts, the great Muhammad Ali, Zsa Gabor, and Boutros Ghali. Those are people who died, died. 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 It was 20 Boston Eagle. Kevin Meaney left behind his big pants people. Gary Shandling, or you know him as Larry Sanders. Alexis Arquette and Curtis Hanson. China, Ron Angelillo, and Big Ange. Mike Graff, Bars Hammer, Alan Rickman will be avenged. Those are people who died, died. Those are people who died, died. Those are people who died, died. Those are people who died. It was 2016, and they died. Bowie dropped Black Star on January 8th. By the time I realized it was last, man, it was too late. This was just the beginning of 2016. Ziggy Stardust, man, your death still stings. David, you're the reason I did this song. This tune's for you, Major Tom. Those are people who died, died. 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 It was 2016, and they died. I can't believe they died! Every time I woke up, somebody else was dead! It was 2016, and they died! Oh man, I can't believe I left out Prince.
Want to contact the show? Send an email to jason@wedon'thavecookies.com.
You can also call 929-266-9342 and leave a voicemail. And coming back from the break, do you got any New Year's resolutions?
No.
I didn't make any this year either.
I don't do that. I don't know. I don't know why. It's nothing wrong against them. I just don't. I feel like there's some ideas I usually have that I could do better, but then I just never get around to making it a New Year's resolution because you're always going to cheat on it.
Yeah.
It's just like I got enough stuff going on. I don't need to impose more rules on myself.
I used to love that. That was my favorite time of year. It was New Year's. It was a fresh start. Yeah. You could always tell to the exact moment when you quit smoking or something like that.
Yeah.
But I just don't give a shit anymore.
I think once you get, I'm 48. I'm like, shit, just whatever. I just survive at this point. That's what I'm trying to do. Nope, not really any New Year's resolutions. You?
Nah.
Yeah.
Completely cut it out. But one thing I did want to thank you for, since we're, going back and forth with 2016 on this episode, was headlining the Diesel show.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was fun. I felt a little bad I had to yell at Andy. Or Alex, I mean. I didn't really yell at him, but, Alex had, 12 Jell-O shots. Yeah. He's probably listening to this. He doesn't know, but then he's like, "You made fun of me," and it's like, I think I had to tell him to shut the fuck up, but I did it in a playful way. It got laughs.
Yeah,
but
I don't think anybody in the audience really, because we've talked about that on the show before. When people heckle you, there's a certain line where you can come back at the person, and either the audience is still with you, or you came back at a certain way, and now they're kind of on the heckler side.
Yeah, if you're too mean. If you're too mean. So it got to the point where he said something, and he really, seemed. I think the Jell-O shots just hit him right then. You know, so.
Because there was a girl who was walking around with a bowl full of Jell-O shots, giving them away to everybody for free.
Yeah. So I had one too outside. That was a fun show, So, but I felt bad. I always feel bad but your job is to make sure that this dialogue doesn't continue. It's a monologue in my case. I don't go around and do crowd work, Yeah. So, but I knew that Alex could take it.
Oh, it was your explosive diarrhea joke.
My explosive diarrhea joke. And he said something about wanting a diagnostic test. What's the diagnostic test or something? And I just said shut the fuck up, Alex. And then he's really a different. If you look at him.
Oh, and by the way, just for people listening, Alex Bolin is a local comedian too. So it's. I just want to make sure people had a little bit of a context as to why it was a little more annoying than a average heckler. Not that he was just a little drunk, and there was a couple of times where he shouted out, but nothing nothing bad. I mean,
No,
he was just kind of...
He was just having fun.
Yeah.
And, the thing is, the funny thing is, he looks like, he's this big dude and looks like Marlon Brando from Apocalypse Now. Like he looks like that guy. But then when he talks, he's got this real high-pitched kind of squeaky voice. So if he was Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now, he'd be like, the horror, the horror. But he's a nice guy, and he came up to me like, Mike, you made fun of me. And I'm like, hey, I just was feeling it, just going with the flow. That was fun, though. I appreciate you having me on it.
Yeah, it was a great time.
We got the podcast in the car.
Yeah.
It was, I kind of, they're like, I didn't even know you guys wanted me to jump in the car, but they're like, oh, they're podcasting out in the car. And I'm like, I'm going to go jump in the car, So Keith was in there with you, and and it had a strange feeling like high school, like we were in the dark and we were talking
sharing
secretly.
Cigarettes or something.
It was like it was like
Not
all three of us were going to make out or something. But that was fun. That was a fun show. So are you doing another one?
I hope so. I was wanting to make it a monthly thing, but I'm not sure if that's kind of in the cards. I mean,
sometimes that's a little too often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're going for maybe in February or March.
I'll tell you right now, the only thing I run every other month. And then the guy who I run it for, he was even thinking like, boy, we should do this every month. And I'm like, hey, you really do use up some of the goodwill you create. Once every other month, people are ready for it to happen. Mm-hmm. But every month, and then I see people saying, like, we're going to run on a weekly thing. And I'm like, oh, you're going to kill it so bad. It's going to have a half-life.
Weekly's rough.
Weekly you can't do. You can't. That's just one of those things. Yeah, you gotta space it out.
Yeah, so. I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things I was going to talk to you about was Cat's Lounge. And that's been going on for how many years now?
About 3.
Okay.
Now I got to say that we've had tough shows before, and there's been times when it's just the comics and maybe a couple other people, and those are hard shows to do. And it is a Tuesday night, So you're set up at Diesel there as a Friday. That's when people want to get out. Mm-hmm. But Tuesday night, like people have to get up to go to work early. It's not even like a night that servers want to go out and party. If you've been serving tables all weekend and you got Monday, that's like your Saturday. But, Tuesday, you might have to go back to work on Wednesday. So it's been tough at times. But what I did to sort of feel like a sellout, but I made, at one time it was just an open mic and anybody can get up there. And then one week I got 20 people wanting to do time, and then that's tough. And then we're going to have just a contest amongst 5 people, and they're going to do 6-minute sets. And then I'm going to have 2 comics after that. And so what's going to happen is there's going to be finals. It's going to go all through 2017, and then the finals will be in October. And whoever the 2 people from each show are, they'll compete. And then there's going to be, an audience vote, which is kind of, that's tough. That means you bring the most people, and you have a good chance of winning. But we're going to have a judge too. Just no one's not going to know who the judge is.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that someone can't get. I want to see my scores. You get like that kind of, you do this contests and people, I want to see my scores and what the judges said. And it's like, oh, geez, comedy isn't a sport. You know what I mean? And it's just, you got to kind of have a gimmick, though, to get people coming. So.
Yeah. And that was one of the things I was going to talk about is you always seem to try to freshen it up some.
I come up with as many gimmicks as I can. I mean, I didn't get into a panda suit because I wanted to. Well, I kind of did. But, like the thing is you try to, do something that's different. Mm-hmm. I mean, so I try to just survive by coming up with a gimmick every time. But now this contest is going to be my gimmick for the whole year. I can't mess it up. Like I can't get up there in a chicken suit right in the middle of the contest and then poop on whoever, literally. No, I'm not. Like I can't screw up somebody's time, you know what I mean? Like, well, I had to follow a guy in a chicken suit, that's why I lost, so it's going to be more conventional now. So, but the owner loves us. That's half the battle too. If the owner likes the comics and doesn't think of them or treat them like they're like migrant lettuce pickers, then that's a good thing. So so if there's a person in there that's being rowdy, they've removed a person drunk yelling at us before. So that's kind of nice to know that someone will do.
Yeah, that helps because there was a person at the Diesel show, and anybody
you mean Alex?
can. Anybody can go back and listen to the episode. I forget what the title is. Probably Comedy at the Diesel. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
But there was a girl that was there, and I think she was the one passing out the Jello shots.
Yeah.
And you can hear on the audio at certain times.
I looked over there, but she was talking really loud.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is you can't really cut into their people. You know what I mean? So she's like at this podium there, and she was talking really loud.
And I think I
just started staring over there for about 15 seconds, and people thought it was funny, but then I didn't say anything because it's their place.
And I think she was talking to one of the owners, or
I know it was the guy who was taking taking the $5.
So how do you shut that down?
Yeah, I know you don't want to
without pissing the venue off. So
yeah, you can't. So I kind of just stared over there, and everybody kind of got the idea.
Because I wanted to say something, but at the same time,
I don't understand people who talk during a comedy show. Like, I don't know if they're really. Sometimes I wonder if they're doing it on purpose. So, but then I might be giving them too much credit. I mean, they just are oblivious to it, or maybe she just did a ton of Jello shots herself.
Yeah,
oh, there was that lady. Was that the same one who fell over?
I'm not sure because she seemed like a completely different person, but at that point in time, she could have been.
They both had a black outfit on, but there was a gal who literally was stumbling, and she was very nice and gregarious, and then she kind of went down for the count, and she laid there for a while. You could tell she just kind of was stumbling, and then I'm like, oh, is she going to make it out the door? Nope, she's on the floor, and she's laying there like, I need to lay here for a while. That's those Jello shots, man.
I was outside. We were crowded around a heater. It was me, Mama Kate, Carla, and Keith.
Yeah.
And she just walks up, starts talking to us, because I think you were at outside, but with a different group.
Mm-hmm.
And she came up and said, I just wanted everybody here to know that I love you guys, and I wanted to give you all hugs. But before she did that, she wanted us to see her pot and know how good it smelled. And then she went to give us hugs, and she looked, I think, at Carla and said, oh, you're smoking, and was like, had this disgusted face, but was trying not to be, still trying to be nice. But then she went over to your group, and it really blew me away because she's at a bar where, I'll try to explain the setup, but there's the bar, and then there's a patio area, and then there's another
kind of thing.
Yeah, and then there's another building where the comedy show was.
Yeah,
there's no exit in the patio area. There's no exit except for into one of those two buildings.
Yeah.
So the only reason anybody would be out there is to either go to the other building or to smoke.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's out there and she's disgusted someone smoking really blew my mind.
Yeah, I think, what do you expect?
Yeah.
We've got
Why do you think they're out here? It's December.
Yeah.
No one's out here
and
just
there's
having fun.
There's a heater out there so that people can smoke without freezing to death.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. I don't know. Disgusted.
It just seems so funny that she was so put off. I mean, she came up, wanted everyone to know she loved us.
Well, she doesn't want to.
Smells great.
She doesn't want to poison her body. After those 12 Jello shots, she probably figured I can't even smell cigarettes because I've already poisoned myself enough. That's probably what she did. But yeah, that was very interesting. And then she went down for the count. I mean, it's not the floor. It's like brick. It's like brick, So I'm like, oh, please don't hit your head because I know she's going down in like 5 seconds. And she kind of went down to her knee first and then, stumbled and maybe almost fell into a plant or something. And then she just kind of laid there. And you could see the friends like, come on, you got to get up. We got to go home. And I'm like, oh, boy, that's a tough one because you know what's coming next. And, you give someone like that a ride in your car. It's going to go to get detailed tomorrow. That's all I can say. But there's something about those Jello shots. I think it's because, they just take a while to soak into your system.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it all at once. So you pound them and you're like, I'm not drunk. And then bang, that's dangerous.
Yeah, it really surprised me that there was somebody just walking around giving away free alcohol.
Yeah. They did a good job though of like, and on Facebook, which is really important.
Mm-hmm.
They promoted it really well.
Well, that's
and
why you're
nice.
a Facebook user.
I'm a Facebook user, and they did some nice stuff. They even made a flyer for it in an event and stuff like that. So they're a cool joint, and then everything went pretty well, except for the lady that fell over. That's all. She just drank too much. Only reason it didn't go perfectly well was because Jell-O shots. But then that doesn't mean that's just the stuff you see that went bad. Like, it could have been someone had a great time because of the Jell-O shots. You just don't hear about it.
Yeah.
So, yep, that was fun.
It really surprised me when I walked in because I didn't know what to expect. Being in a whole different building was not what I expected, but it was great because you don't have the drunks at the bar who want to watch the television.
No, that's one reason the Tuesday night at Katz is actually a good night, because we don't usually interfere with the bar, because usually there's only a couple, 3 people that come in there, on a Tuesday night. But that place has got a separate building, and that's a good setup. You don't want to compete with the bar talk noise.
And they had a DJ booth, which was nice.
And their sound was good.
Yeah, so I
think... The acoustics are tough. So, I think if you're recording, like, you got all these hard walls that are probably hard to figure out.
I think next time, if we record the show, I'm just going to plug in straight into their PA system.
That's how you do it. Yeah, you do it right into the board.
Because I was trying to get some of the crowd reaction and this and that, but I think next time you'll
still get it for most people.
Yeah, we're still trying to work out the kinks, but
you won't get crowd reaction coming through on the recording if you have Father Time on there, but because there isn't any. It's not a technical issue.
I really thought about bringing him into that show.
You should. That would be fun.
Yeah,
but
I
just
would like
prepare for it. You're going to be a Facebook user for the next 6 months. You're going to have push notifications. You're going to get Zuckerberg. It's going to be, this guy keeps messaging you, just pinging away at you.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't miss is all the constant messages and phone calls.
He tries pretty hard at, he reaches out a lot. So it must be time consuming.
Yeah.
I got to say. You should do it, though. Just don't put me on that show. You can do that, please. It's the only time I've ever... So don't put me on this show. I'm actually being asking not to do shows now.
Are you?
No, I'm joking around. That was a joke. But, I mean, there's times when there's a point where I used to say yes to everything in my first 2 years. And it'd be like, okay, Thursday night we're going to go down to Louisville, and there's an open mic at the club down there that runs at 10:15, and sometimes they don't even do it in the main room. They do it in a room with a fish aquarium in it and a bar. And, I'll be back at 3:30 in the morning. No problem. So I just go do that for no pay. Mm-hmm. But then now it's like someone will ask me, hey, Mike, I got this show on Saturday. Like, you got to be clean because there'll be children there, and it's in Indiana. And I'll be like, no. I think one of my testicles twisted around backwards, and I got to get it retwisted around. Just come up with a lame excuse. Now with all my body issues, I don't actually have to make any excuses. It'll be just like my nut hurts. Yeah, so then you just kind of like, I don't have the energy now.
I want to get into a story real quick, and before I do, I want to give a quick shout-out to Choo Choo Stew. You can follow him on Twitter, @Choo Choo Stew. This story's from the UK.
Cool.
And Choo Choo Stew does the Totally From the UK Today segment, and hopefully we'll get that started 2017. But there was a driver who moved an ambulance out of his way so he could claim the parking spot. What he didn't know was there was a woman in the back of that ambulance who was receiving critical heart treatment.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of distracted the people who were working on her when he moved the ambulance.
Gosh, dang.
How fucking egotistical do you have to be?
Yeah.
Where you're just driving around, you really want to go in that store, but that fucking ambulance.
That damn thing is parked there, using up a parking spot. Mm-hmm. It should be rolling somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
If she's in that bad of a shape, why aren't you moving? I mean, what a pompous dick.
Yeah, I know. That's something. That's something. That's up there. And it's a car thing. People have the worst behaviors in their cars.
Yeah.
So it's like a faceless kind of thing. But that guy had to get out, move it, and get back in. So I don't. Wow. Are ambulance ambulances have different rules in the UK that we don't know about? I mean, it's pretty much you give them any room that you need, right?
Right.
So, God.
That really surprised me.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having the balls to just see an ambulance and to move it anywhere, even if it's just out of the way enough to where you can put your car in whatever space it was blocking.
Yeah, because you don't know that someone's got to get in there and roll.
Right.
You know, so that's crazy.
And the fact that somebody was in the back of it receiving treatment.
I guess that the guy didn't even notice. That's probably a pretty bad offense, I bet. I bet stealing an ambulance is probably worse than stealing a car. That's probably theft. If you go into a car and move it, is that theft? And you don't own it?
I think so.
And that's probably a government vehicle. I know the UK is different. You know, one time I look back on
follow up on that. I'm going to have to
you're gonna
get
have
a hold
to find
of
out if that guy did some hard time.
Maybe I can get Stu to do some reporting or something.
Yeah, we need something like that.
Yeah.
That is messed up. When I was younger in college, my roommate was a postal service worker, and I borrowed his postal service vehicle to go pick up the girl I was dating, who's my wife now, and I thought it would impress her. But you know what kind of shit I could have gotten into if I stole a government vehicle, basically, and went and picked her up and then took her back to my apartment. It was pretty neat to have her get into it. She had to ride in the back. But it was pretty cool to come and truck her away in a post office vehicle. It's got fans blowing on me and shit. But I can't believe what I did. I mean, my whole future was ahead of me. I could have maybe gone to jail for that. I swear to you, I went by another postal service vehicle, too. So that guy was probably like, this isn't supposed to be on that route. There was no Amazon post office then, you know?
Yeah.
This was like in the, early 90s. So everybody had just their route, and that was the only vehicle, So that was risky. But I suppose I could have just got out and bailed, and then done like a run, and then probably would have.
So she was in the back with all the mail and everything. So
she was in it. There wasn't that much mail. I was kind of surprised. But he used to come home on a lunch break and park it out in front of our apartment. And I don't even think he was supposed to be doing that. Like, I think he was not supposed to park it somewhere. But I don't even know. I don't know what the rules are, the postal vehicles. But it was just a little boxy mail car, and I went and picked up my wife in it. That's probably why she, that's probably how I won her over. Yes, you don't steal government vehicles. I know that.
No, it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And another thing you don't do, which leads us into this week's Dumbass of the Year.
Okay.
You don't break into abandoned prisons. Especially if you're a teenage girl in Illinois.
Uh-huh.
Some girl and her friend just broke into an abandoned prison, got through the fence, went inside, and one of them thought it would just be a real hoot to lock themselves inside a cell.
Ooh.
And didn't really think about how the fuck she would get out.
Yeah.
They ended up having to call for help. They didn't call 911. They called the front desk of a fire station. And hoping probably that the police wouldn't be involved, which they're going to be.
I think they're going to be, yeah.
Fire trucks came, they got a sledgehammer, and had to knock out a wall that was next to the cell and got her through the wall, and that's the end of that.
That's ironic.
It kind of looks like you could get a locksmith or something. I've never been to jail, so I don't know if they have electronic locks. I'm assuming since it's an abandoned jail,
it's probably old school, and they probably had the locks with the keys you see in the movies.
It looks like they just brought in a locksmith.
Yeah,
but
you can't.
They just
the fire department, man, they'll just knock down a wall. It's not their problem,
Yeah, but it's an abandoned building. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, but boy, that's ironic. You know how many people wanted to get out of that thing?
Yeah,
and then so they get busted getting into it. And just because you want to really replicate the jail experience, which probably happened later on. I want to know if these people went to jail.
They got arrested for trespassing.
Well, okay, there you go. So they might have done some time in jail there. So
she probably didn't even get a selfie out of it.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's just terrible. I mean, what if they were not in range? You could probably starve to death in there. Or something. Was it one of them out and one of them in?
They were both together. So, yeah, one was out, one was in.
Okay.
But just imagine if she would have went there by herself. I think they said no one knowingly has been in that facility since 2012.
Yeah.
So if you went there by yourself,
it's got to be creepy. It's going to be dark.
for whatever reason your cell phone died or you didn't get reception in there, which there's a pretty good chance you might not.
You're just going to die. You're going to starve to death.
Yeah.
In there. No one's going to guess that.
And no one's
there.
looking for you inside the abandoned prison, probably.
Yeah, no one's going to know. Yeah,
Right.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they thought about it a little bit and made sure their cell phone was at least charged up and they were only partial dumbasses. But no, we'll give them a full dumbass.
Yeah.
Both cheeks dumbass.
Yeah, that was...
You should have like one cheek or two cheek dumbass. You should have like a Siskel and Ebert sort of system of how bad a dumbass it is.
I feel bad. I really wanted to do a recap of all the this week's dumbass of the year and come up with an actual dumbass of the year for 2016.
Yeah.
Maybe 2017.
You could have people vote on it.
Yeah.
You know, your listeners could vote on who you think the biggest dumbass would be. And it could be like you could have a tournament.
Yeah.
Dumbass tournament. It's like the natural selection Sunday tournament.
Maybe that's what we should do is every this week's dumbass of the year, at the end of the month, we figure out who the biggest dumbass that month was.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year in December, we take all 12 and have a little bracket.
Well, now, see, you're copying my Cat's Lounge comic contest.
Oh.
It's the same exact thing.
There you go. And it was pretty
it's all
obvious.
dumbasses.
That was just blatant copying. You spilled
But you know
your
what? It's inspired because it's not the same thing. It's the same template, just a different thing.
I think that might be what we should do, though.
Yeah, I think you should have a crown dumbass of every year, and then they just go and they make a plaque.
Oh, man, that would be great. Every month, once we figure out who the dumbass was of the month, the next month we try to get that person on the show.
Yeah.
We try to have a special 5 to 10 minute episode, however long they'll be on the line without hanging up on me.
Yeah.
And we'll just have an episode based around them.
You know, if we could do it locally, you know, we could just take it's very tough to call someone you know a dumbass, you know,
Yeah.
but like, let's say if someone you knew and you could say like, hey, like Alex Bowling, you did 12 Jello shots right before the comedy show. Would you be interested in being dumbass of the week? And then some people would say, yeah.
There are people who would jump at that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I want to ask how your book's doing and where people can get that.
My book is Not Making It. It's on Amazon. It's got a red cover. It's doing okay. You know, I got a good bump with Christmas, and so it's very narrow. And so I'm working on the next one. It's going to be a lot more silly, and it's not going to be as cathartic as the guy who's the middle-aged guy breaking into comedy and all the bad scenes you get into. But it's going to be called, it's a cowboy. It's going to be, I've already figured out the genre.
We were talking about this last time you were on the show, and I had so much fun coming up with ideas with you.
Yeah.
That was a great time.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a cowboy who really doubts himself as a man, but he also has every physical ailment possible, but they don't know about it because it's 1875. So he's got asthma, and then he's got irritable bowel syndrome, and he's... just doubts himself as a man, and he wants to go and be a real Western gunslinger. And so then he runs into a woman, but it's going to be called itchy trigger finger syndrome.
Okay,
because he's going to have skin problems too. Right now, it's in its beginning stages, and one thing I think is cute. I hope people will tolerate it. Is it breaks through the fourth wall? So like the guy's fiance asks when he's coming back. And the main character, whose name is Slim Goodbody, by the way. Do you remember Slim Goodbody? Slim Goodbody was a character when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
He had the organs.
Yeah.
Well, that's the main character's name is Slim Goodbody. And then, by the way, his boss that he works for in the dry goods industry, his name is Duncan Hines. And his wife was named Betty Crocker. I'm just trying to take all these names that are just these older names like... So
I forgot all about Slim Goodbody.
Well,
Jesus, I'm so glad you brought him up. That
Slim Goodbody.
Damn.
So that's his name. It sounds like a cowboy name too. And his friend's name's Saltpeter. But what's going to happen is he's going to break through the fourth wall once in a while. So like he leaves and his fiance's like, "When will you come back?" And he's like, "Probably around chapter 8." And then she's like, well, don't you want to talk about what's bothering you? Because the readers want real dialogue that advances the narrative, so that they're in a novel.
Mm-hmm.
But and the guy will be like, who put a cactus in this novel? It's Texas. There's no cactus in Texas. They talk outside the book and then they go back into the character, exchanges. So it's so far pretty fun to write and doesn't have any personal ties to where I have to say what really pissed me off about something, then I have to write that. I don't know shit about cowboys. So except that they all wear white hats if they're a good guy in a bark hat. And the guy gets pulled over on his horse